My husband cheated with his coworker Emilia and now demands I befriend her to prove I'm mature, while his family defends her and our savings vanish from his lavish dates. I've been sitting on this for a while, and I finally decided to spill it somewhere because I can't keep it in my head anymore. I figured Reddit's a good spot to get this off my chest and maybe figure out if I'm losing it or not. I'm 28, married to my husband Nate for 4 years, together for 7. Things weren't perfect, but I thought we were solid. Until I found out he cheated on me with Emilia, this girl from his job. And now, get this, he wants me to be friends with her. Like besties. I'm still reeling, and it's a mess, so let me break it down. Nate's 31, works in sales at this mid-sized tech company. He's always been the charming type, big smile, smooth talker, the guy who can make anyone laugh. It's why I fell for him back in college. I'm more the practical one, organized, maybe a little anxious, the kind of person who pays bills early and keeps the fridge stocked. We balanced each other out, or at least I thought we did. Lately, though, he's been distant. Long hours, vague excuses, coming home smelling like some floral perfume I don't wear. I'd ask, and he'd shrug it off. Oh, just a client thing. Or, work's crazy. You know how it is. I trusted him. Maybe I shouldn't have. Emilia's this 25-year-old who started at his company about a year ago. She's in marketing, so their teams overlap sometimes. I met her once at a work barbecue last summer. Super bubbly, all dimples and loud laughs. The kind of person who hugs you 5 seconds after meeting you. I didn't think much of it then. She seemed nice enough. Nate even said she was a lot. Like he wasn't a fan, so I never saw her as a threat. Turns out I was wrong. I found out about the affair 2 months ago. It was one of those dumb, cliché moments you see in movies but never think will happen to you. I was grabbing his phone to order takeout. Mine was dead, and a text popped up from M with a heart emoji. Last night was fun. Can't wait for next time. My stomach dropped. I scrolled up, hands shaking, and there it was, weeks of messages. Flirty stuff at first, then pics. Her in a low-cut top, him saying how hot she looked, them joking about sneaking around. There was even a selfie of them at some bar, his arm around her, both grinning like I didn't exist. I confronted him that night. He came home late, reeking of that same perfume, and I just lost it. Who's Emilia? I yelled, holding up his phone. He froze, then tried to play dumb. She's just a friend. You're overreacting. But I kept pushing, and he crumbled. He admitted they'd been hooking up for 3 months. Said it just happened, like that makes it okay. I asked if he loved her. He said no, it was casual. I asked why. Why her? Why now? And he mumbled something about feeling stressed and her being fun. I kicked him out that night. Told him to sleep on the couch at least, but he grabbed his keys and left. I cried until I couldn't anymore. The next day, he came back acting like nothing happened. Sat me down, all calm and serious, and said we could work through this. I was still raw, barely slept, eyes puffy, but I listened. Then he dropped the bomb. I think it'd help if you got to know Emilia. She's cool, and I don't want to cut her out of my life. You two could be friends. I stared at him, waiting for the punchline, but he was dead serious. He said it'd show I'm mature and over it, that he'd end the physical stuff but still wanted her around because she's important to him. I told him he was delusional and stormed out to my car. Drove around for hours, ended up at a gas station crying over a stale coffee. That's the main mess, but it's not the whole story. There's more piling up, and it's why I'm so tangled up about this. First off, his family's involved now, and they're not on my side. His mom's this pushy lady who's never really liked me. She thinks I'm too serious for Nate, that I don't get his free spirit vibe. His dad's quieter, but just nods along with her. When Nate told them about the affair, because of course he did, he's a mama's boy, they didn't even blink. His mom called me a week later, saying, Emilia's such a sweetheart, you should give her a chance. Nate's happier with her around. Happier? With the woman he cheated with? She went on about how marriages have ups and downs, and I need to adapt. His dad chimed in with, don't make this harder than it needs to be. I hung up, but it stung. They've met Emilia a few times. Nate brought her to a family barbecue after I said no, and now they're obsessed. His mom even texted me a pic of them all laughing together, like I'm the outsider. Then there's the money stuff. We've always shared a joint account, bills, rent, groceries, the usual. But I noticed we were short last month. Rent was late, and the electric bill got a warning notice. I asked Nate what was up, and he dodged it. Oh, I must have miscalculated. I dug into the statements, and there it was, withdrawals I didn't recognize. $200 at some fancy Italian place we've never been to. 50 at a jewelry store. 100 at a hotel bar an hour away. I confronted him, and he admitted he'd been spending on Emilia. Dinners, drinks, a bracelet as a friend thing. Meanwhile, I'm clipping coupons to cover our rent on this dingy two-bedroom apartment with a leaky faucet we can't afford to fix. He says he'll pay me back, but he hasn't. Now I'm juggling late fees while he's out buying her trinkets. On top of that, my best friend Leah's part of this mess too. She's 27, been my ride or die since high school. She's sweet but hates rocking the boat, always smoothing things over, even when she shouldn't. I told her about the affair a week after I found out, falling on her couch with a bottle of cheap wine. She hugged me, said all the right things. He's a jerk. You deserve better. But then, last month, we're at this diner catching up, and she gets quiet. I ask what's wrong, and she admits she knew about Nate and Emilia for months. Saw them together at a bar back in July, all cozy, but didn't tell me because she didn't want to hurt me and thought it'd fizzle out. I just sat there, burger getting cold, feeling like the floor dropped out. She knew and didn't say anything. I told her I needed space, and we haven't talked since. Now I'm down a husband and a best friend. Work's another nightmare. I'm in HR at the same company Nate and Emilia work at. Not the same department, thank God, but close enough. Word's gotten around. People whisper when I walk by, and I've caught a few pity stares in the break room. One guy from sales even asked me, "You okay?" Heard about Nate. I wanted to sink through the floor. Emilia's still there, prancing around like nothing's wrong, and Nate's acting like it's business as usual. I love my job, decent pay, good benefits, but I'm thinking of quitting just to get away from it. Problem is, we need my income more than ever with him blowing cash on her. And then there's Nate himself. He's doubling down. Keeps saying I'm overreacting, that I'm punishing him by not forgiving him fast enough. Last week, he cornered me in the kitchen, our tiny, cluttered kitchen with mismatched mugs and a fridge that hums too loud, and said, "If you'd just meet Emilia, you'd see she's not a bad person. You're making this harder by being so cold." Cold. I've been sleeping on the couch because I can't stand our bed anymore, and I'm cold? He says I'm immature for not moving on, that a real partner would adapt. It's like he's rewriting the rules, and I'm the one who's supposed to feel guilty. I tried meeting her once, just to shut him up. Dumb move. He set it up. Coffee at this little place downtown with sticky tables and bad lighting. Emilia showed up in this bright yellow sundress, all smiles, acting like we're old pals. "I'm so glad we're doing this," she said, hugging me before I could dodge. She babbled about work, her dog, how funny Nate is, like I wasn't sitting there dying inside. Then she said, "I hope we can move past this. I'd love to hang out more." I stared at her, coffee going cold, and asked, "You slept with my husband. Why would I want to hang out?" She blinked, then laughed, actually laughed, and said, "Oh, you're so direct." I love that. Nate jumped in, "See? She's cool, right?" I left, walked out without saying bye, drove home, and locked myself in the bathroom until he stopped knocking. Our apartment's a war zone now. It's small, cramped living room with a sagging couch, bedroom I avoid, kitchen table covered in unopened mail. We used to watch movies here, cook together, laugh about dumb stuff. Now it's silent or screaming. Last night, he came home late, again, and I asked where he'd been. "With Emilia," he said, casual as anything. "Just talking." I lost it. Yelled that he's still choosing her over me, that he's ruining us. He yelled back, "You're the one ruining us by holding a grudge." We went to bed mad, him in the bedroom, me on the couch with a lumpy pillow and a blanket that smells like old laundry. I keep replaying how we got here. We met at a college party, him spilling beer on me laughing it off. Dated long distance for a year when he moved for a job, then I followed him here. Got married at this little courthouse, just us and a few friends, then celebrated at a dive bar with greasy wings and karaoke. It wasn't fancy, but it was us. 4 years ago, we were broke but happy, sharing ramen and dreaming about a house someday. Now he's buying her jewelry, and I'm Googling how to fix a marriage after cheating at 2 a.m. His family's pressure doesn't help. His mom called again yesterday, saying I'm pushing Nate away by not accepting Emilia. Said she's good for him. that I should loosen up. I told her he cheated, not me, but she sighed like I'm the problem. Men stray sometimes, she said. You don't throw away a marriage over it. I hung up again. His dad texted later. Talk to him. Like I haven't tried. The money's getting worse. Another bill came today. Overdue cable, $50 we don't have. I asked Nate to chip in, and he said, I'll get it next paycheck. But last paycheck went to work stuff, which I'm starting to think means Emilia. I'm selling old clothes online just to cover groceries. $20 for a sweater I loved, 10 for some boots. It's humiliating. Leah texted me too. I miss you. Can we talk? I didn't reply. I miss her, but I can't look at her without seeing that bar moment she hid from me. She was supposed to have my back. Now I've got no one to vent to except my mom, who lives 3 states away and just says, leave him, honey. Easier said than done when our lease is joint and I can't afford rent alone. Work's unbearable. Yesterday, I saw Emilia in the hall, laughing with some guy from IT, flipping her hair. She waved at me like we're buds. I nodded and kept walking, but my hands were shaking. My boss pulled me aside later, asked if I'm okay. I lied, said yeah, just tired. I can't lose this job, but I can't keep pretending either. Nate's still on his Befriends with her kick. Says it'd heal us. I asked how. How does me buddying up with the woman he slept with fix anything? He said, it shows you trust me. Trust him? After this? I laughed, and he got mad, stormed out. Came back at midnight, slept without a word. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to fight for us. 7 years is a lot to throw away. But then I think about Emilia's laugh, his family's texts, the empty bank account, Leah's silence, the whispers at work. I feel like I'm drowning. I keep wondering if I'm the one screwing up here. If I'm too stubborn, too hurt, too cold. He says I am. His mom says I am. Maybe I should just swallow it, smile at Emilia, pretend it's fine. But I can't. Every time I try, I see that selfie of them, and I want to scream. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Am I the bad guy here? Am I being unreasonable for not playing nice with her? I just need to know if I'm the one messing this up. Update. This is what has happened since then. Okay, so it's been 14 months since everything blew up with Nate and Emilia, and I figured it's time to give an update because, wow, things have shifted in ways I didn't see coming. I've been lurking on here, reading comments from my last post, and I appreciate everyone who weighed in. It helped me process the chaos. So, here's where I'm at now, plus what's happened with Nate and Emilia. Buckle up, because it's a lot. After that last fight I wrote about, the one where Nate stormed out and I was sobbing on the couch, I hit a breaking point. I couldn't keep living like that, tiptoeing around him and his guilt trips. A couple days later, I packed a bag and crashed at my mom's place 3 states away. She didn't ask too many questions, just made me tea and let me sleep in my old room with the creaky twin bed and faded posters. I stayed there for a month, trying to figure out my next move. Nate called a few times, left voicemails saying he missed me and wanted to talk, but I didn't answer. I needed space, real space, not just a night on the couch. When I got back to the apartment, he was still there, acting like nothing happened. That's when I told him I wanted a divorce. He didn't yell or beg, just stared at me, then said, fine, if that's what you want. It was so cold, like flipping a switch. We started the process, and it was messy from the jump. He fought me on everything. Furniture, savings, even the stupid blender I bought with my first paycheck. I didn't care about most of it. I just wanted out. We split the savings, what was left after his Emilia spending spree, and I took the couch and my clothes. The lease was up anyway, so I let him deal with the apartment. Last I heard, he moved into a smaller place downtown. I found a cheap studio a few miles away, tiny, with peeling paint and a window that barely opens, but it's mine. First night there, I sat on the floor with a pizza and cried, not because I missed him, but because it felt so final. Divorce papers got signed 8 months ago, after a bunch of back and forth with lawyers. I'm single now, and it's weird, like I'm relearning who I am without him. Work's still the same. I stayed in HR because the pay's decent, and I'm good at it. The gossips died down mostly. I don't see Nate there anymore. He quit a few months back, and I'll get to why in a sec. Nate's life, from what I've pieced together, is a roller coaster. After I left, he and Emilia went full-on public. No more sneaking around. They were posting pics online, all smiles at bars and parks. His mom sent me a smug text about it. He's doing great, hope you are too, and I blocked her. But then, around 5 months ago, things flipped. A mutual friend, someone from his old college crew, told me Emilia dumped him. Apparently, she got bored once the forbidden thrill was gone. Nate tried to win her back, flowers and all, but she was done. Friends said he's been a wreck since, drinking too much, calling in sick, even lost his job because he stopped showing up. He's crashing at his parents' place now, sleeping in his childhood bedroom with the Star Wars posters still up. Part of me feels bad, but then I remember the hotel bar receipts and Emilia's laugh, and I'm over it. Emilia's still at the company, strutting around like she owns the place. I avoid her when I can, but we've had a few run-ins. Last month, she cornered me in the break room, all fake sweet, saying, "Hope there's no hard feelings." I just nodded and left. I'm not giving her the satisfaction. Word around the office is she's dating some guy from IT now, the same one I saw her flirting with before. She's still loud, still hugging everyone, still acting like nothing happened. I don't get how she sleeps at night, but I guess that's her deal. Leah and I, that's complicated. After I cut her off, she kept texting, apologies, memes, random thinking of you notes. I ignored them for months, too hurt to deal. But 4 months ago, she showed up at my new place with coffee and a handwritten letter. Said she messed up, that she was scared to lose me and made the wrong call by not telling me about Nate and Emilia. I didn't forgive her right away. I couldn't, but we talked. She cried. I yelled, and somehow we ended up laughing about old high school drama. We're not back to normal, but we're trying. She's been over a few times since, helping me hang curtains and binge trashy shows. It's shaky, but it's something. So, that's the update on us. Me, Nate, Emilia, Leah. I'm surviving, maybe even healing a little. Money's tight. Divorce fees ate my savings, and the studio's rent keeps creeping up, but I'm managing. I've started running again, something I used to love before life got heavy. There's this park near my place with a muddy trail and too many ducks, and I go there mornings before work. It clears my head. I've even been on a few dates, nothing serious, just coffee or drinks with guys from apps. It's awkward, and I'm rusty, but it's a start. But here's the new problem. Nate's back in my orbit, and it's throwing me off. About 3 weeks ago, he started texting me. Not calls this time, just messages. Hey, how you holding up? Miss our old movie nights. Can we talk? I didn't reply at first, figured he's just lonely after Emilia ditched him. But then, last week, he showed up at my door. Unannounced, 9 p.m., looking like he hadn't shaved in days. Said he's sorry for everything, that he messed up the best thing he had. I stood there, door half open, heart pounding, while he rambled about wanting to fix us. Said Emilia was a mistake, that he's been lost without me, that his parents pushed him into dumb choices. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to slam the door. After all the crap he pulled, he doesn't get to waltz back in. But another part, the stupid part, remembered the good stuff, late-night talks, him dancing like an idiot in our old kitchen. I told him I needed time to think, and he left, but not before saying, "I'll wait as long as it takes." Since then, he's been texting daily. Pictures of places we used to go, apologies, promises to change. Yesterday, he dropped off a box at my place, my old sweater I'd left behind, plus a note. Found this, thought you'd want it. I'm still here. Now I'm stuck. I've spent 14 months clawing my way out of that hole. New place, new routine, new me. I don't trust him, not after Emilia, his family, the money lies. But he's persistent, and it's digging up feelings I thought I'd buried. Leah says he's playing me, that he's just desperate now that he's alone. My mom says block him and move on. I'm leaning that way, but every time my phone buzzes, I hesitate. What if he's serious? What if I'm throwing away a chance to fix something that used to mean everything? Or what if I let him back in, and it's the same crap all over again? I keep replaying that night at my door, him standing there, voice cracking, me frozen like an idiot. I've worked so hard to get steady, and now I'm wobbling again. My studio's my sanctuary, secondhand couch, a plant I haven't killed yet, a kettle that whistles too loud, but his texts make it feel crowded. I ran this morning, ducks quacking at me, trying to sort it out, but I'm still a mess. So, yeah, that's where I'm at 14 months later. Divorce done, Nate's a wreck, Emilia's still Emilia, Leah's halfway back in my life, and now this, him begging for round 2. I don't know if I'm dumb for even considering it or smart for keeping my guard up. Am I out of line for wanting to slam the door for good? Or am I the one screwing up by not hearing him out?
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our daily updates.